Swans, where is your baby? Where is he? You are not very good parents. Where is your baby? Hello everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome back to my channel if you are a returning viewer, and welcome if you are new. Welcome to this week's reading vlog. So last night I began reading Faith of the Fallen by Terry Goodkind. This is, I believe, the 6th book in the Sword of Truth series. I am 109 pages in, so I've made a pretty decent start. So far, Richard, our main character, is being extremely difficult and he's being stupid. But thankfully, there's plenty of female characters around him to tell him that he's being completely stupid. He's not listening, however. I'm sure he'll come around eventually. Kaylin, our female main character, is pretty much down and out for the count. Something really terrible happened to her at the end of the last book, so she needs some time to recover, to say the least. They have gone back to the Westland while Kaylin recovers, which is Richard's homeland. But at the same time, he is like lord of pretty much the entire Midlands, so hence why everyone's telling him, you're completely stupid for going to the Westlands, you need to get back to the Midlands because you need to command an army. But Richard, he's had a vision. But I'm really enjoying this so far. We're spending a lot of time with a character who we do know, but we haven't spent too much time with before. Her name is Nikki. She's one of the Sisters of the Dark. She was one of Richard's 6 teachers when he was at the Palace of the Prophets. She looks like she's going to pan out to be extremely interesting. She's a Sister of the Dark, but we can see some things about her that point to the fact that there might be a good side to Nikki, and we're learning a bit about her backstory, and she's had a bit of a troubled past. So yeah, enjoying this so far, and hopefully we can polish off quite a bit today so we can get this book read this week, and then I'll have to decide what I'm going to read next. But in the meantime, I'm going to do, you guessed it, Sunday baking. Today I am making donuts, so I'm gonna get right on into that. I'm going to put some chicken in the crock pot to meal prep for this week, and then I am going to get some uni work and pre-course work done for a work course that I have this week. And then I'm finally going to read. You'll see a little bit of baking footage, and then in a blink of an eye we'll be right back to reading. So let's get to it. Okay, so I am 190 pages into Faith of the Fallen so far. It is very good. Every time we're in Zed's point of view, which is not all that often, they're just the best chapters. He is so funny. Like, the character voices for Terry Goodkind's books are very distinct. Like, I have found in, I mean, of course it helps that it's in the 3rd person, but 1st person multi-POV books I really struggle with, especially if the author maybe isn't the best in the world and they haven't got really distinct character voices in their 1st person multi-POV books. It being in 3rd person automatically helps, but regardless, the character voices are so distinct and so many of the characters are so different. Like, reading from Zed's perspective and the way Zed interacts is completely different to how Richard interacts with the world. So it's extremely entertaining and I really enjoy it. We've spent a lot of time with Nikki. It's so difficult because I feel really, really bad for her, but I also have a bad feeling that she's going to try and do something negative towards Richard and Kaylin. Hopefully she like comes good and sees the light, I guess, but I'm nervous, but I also really feel for her, so it's a difficult place to be in. So I'm up to chapter 18, about 25% of the way through the book. Hopefully I can get up to about halfway tonight. That would be really good, but I'm tearing through this far faster than I was when I was reading Soul, so happy with that. Just having a good time so far, and I hope I'll bring you guys an update soon. But for now, I really have to get some uni work done because I've been baking and reading all goddamn day. Remember how I was like, I'm not quite sure how I feel about Nikki. I feel like I'll regret saying that I feel bad for her. 236 pages in. I'm very, very, very mad at Nikki. Far out, this is really, really good. It is really good, but holy shit, I'm so mad at Nikki. Now I know I'm gonna have to spend so much time with her in this fucking book. Oh my god. Why does she want Richard? I'm so confused. Richard and Kaylin were happy. Just leave them alone, for fuck's sake. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. I'm gonna go have a shower and try and forget about it. It's totally fine. Oh my gosh. Happy Monday. Faith of the Fallen update. So I'm 304 pages in, just a bit under halfway. Loving, loving, loving this so far. No complaints. It just made me tear up a bit, which is like so ridiculous. But oh my gosh, I don't understand what Nikki is trying to do. And I think Nikki doesn't really even understand what she's trying to do. But I'm very curious to see what she sort of does with Richard in this book. Very curious indeed. I really want to push through with this and get some more read, but I am quite tired and I really need to get some uni work done. So I think I might close my eyes for 20 minutes, do some uni, and then hopefully jump right back in to reading this. Oh my gosh, it's so good so far. I would say it's like, this has the potential to overtake Stone of Tears as my favorite book in the series so far, but we'll see. We'll see. What? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Anyway. Happy Tuesday. Look at how foggy it is this morning. Nuts. It's cold too, far out. Good morning everyone. It is Tuesday and for the next 3 days I'm working from home because I'm doing a course that is required I do on my own personal devices outside of the workplace. So it's gonna be long days. It's apparently running from 8 AM till 4:30 PM every day, and I'm like, what could you possibly have to teach me? I'm hoping there's like hour-long lunch breaks, to be honest, because that just seems crazy to me. Normally the good thing about doing work courses is that the days are shorter, but apparently not this time. I also despise doing group work, and as far as I know, there's like group work in this, like breakout groups between lessons, so I legit can't think of anything worse, but hopefully it will be good. A friend of mine did the course recently and he said it was good, but anyway. The good thing about being work from home is that if we do have breaks, I can read. So last night I was pretty tired. I didn't get extremely far. I'm up to chapter 33, page 359 of Faith of the Fallen. This is very, very, very good. Kaylin, the mother confessor, is mothering. She is in her bad bitch era, and I'm here for it. Honestly, I am here for it. I just wish Richard was there with her and that he was in his bad bitch era as well, but he's not. Richard once again needs to learn how to escape a woman in a book. a common theme. I also read a bit on my Kindle yesterday when I was having nap time, but because I couldn't actually get any sleep, I decided I would read on my Kindle for a bit. So I'm reading Wanna Play a Game by Alina May. This is filth. Absolute filth. I love it though. Alina May has a talent. She's amazing. Now the actual content, let me just sum this one up for you so far. I'm only about 30% of the way through, but it's not a very long book. There are 3 guys. It's reverse harem slash all the guys are already involved with one another. They're like boyfriends, and they're all like criminals. They have marks and they like kill people, but they only kill guys. And one night they had just killed a guy. Our female main character, she had just had a bunch of problems with her boyfriend. Anyway, so she leaves the home. The guys are out and about after the killing they have done. They bump into each other at the gas station, and then she gets in her car and she calls 911 on her boyfriend. Coincidentally, shortly after, Ryder, one of the 3 guys, gets pinged for the murder and goes to prison. Well, he's in jail awaiting hearing. He's been charged with the murder. And Sawyer, the guy she bumped into at the gas station, saw her on the phone to 911. So he thinks that she has called Ryder in and reported him for the crime, because they found out from the police that someone at the gas station called them in. So Ryder is in jail, and then it's Miles and Sawyer. And Miles' thing is like, he doesn't do any of this murder and crazy shit to women. Like, that's one place he will not go. Sawyer, he don't give a fuck. Sawyer decides that he is going to get our female main character, like, as revenge for her calling them in. So he torments her for a while and then kidnaps her. And that's where we're at currently. It is batshit crazy. But the spice is off the chain. This is like, you know, I've been reading a few dark romances recently. Like, if you've been around on my channel, you know I read Den of Vipers, you know I read All He'll Ever Be. I've been in a bit of a dark romance era recently. This is by far definitely darker than a lot of the other ones I've been reading, and it is infinitely spicier. This is far spicier than Does It Hurt. The smut writing in it is at a much higher caliber than All He'll Ever Be, and I think the reverse harem element in this is far more interesting than it was in Den of Vipers. So we'll see as it goes along, but so far, like, kudos to Alina May. This is like some archive of our own shit. Like, that's the type of quality we're talking about, which is good, by the way. I love AO3. And if you want like spice out the wazoo and like well-written spice, AO3 is where it's at. And I feel like Alina May is like an AO3 writer. There are like, this is definitely indie published, so there are like some very minor, not typos, but I guess grammatical errors throughout it, but they're not all that perceptible unless you pay a lot of attention to the flow of sentences. Very, very, very intriguing read, and a short read. I barely read anything and I'm 30% of the way through, so. But for now, it is 7:30. My class will start at 8, so I think I might read for 15 and then get set up for my day. Check-in time. We just got done for the day for the work from home course, which was, I'm tired, let's just say that. But I did manage to get lots of reading done in the breaks today, so that was really, really good. I'm now 419 pages in, so I'm up to chapter 39. Kaylin is a bad bitch. She's just eating this shit up. I don't think I've read a chapter today that has Richard or anyone else in it. It's just been about Kaylin boss babing, but I am super into her boss babing journey. She's essentially leading the army at the moment against the Imperial Order forces, and she's doing, you know, there's been some ups and downs, but she's doing a brilliant job. I messaged my friend about it earlier, and I said pretty much the whole time I'm reading about Kaylin commanding the armies, I just have that, you know, that TikTok sound that's like, bad bitch with a baddie friend. That's Kaylin and Kara in this book. They are just elite. The women. But I am curious to see what's going down with Richard since we last checked in on him. Not really too sure how all that's going. He's alive though, we do know that, so that's good. Other than Richard and Kaylin though, like Kara and Zed are my favorite characters by far. They both make me laugh so much, especially Zed. He's just the funniest ever. Zed has had multiple death scares throughout this series and he hasn't died yet, so I'm hoping it stays that way. I will be devastated. Like, obviously he's gonna die one day because he's an old man, but I will be devastated if he dies before his time. I'll be devo. And if anything happens to Kara, I might have to boycott the series. No, I wouldn't, but seriously, she's so elite. I just love her so much. Now I'm gonna go for a walk and I'm going to listen to some of Two Towers, probably. I am about halfway through chapter 17 of Two Towers, so I'm like so close to being done. I just want to finish it. I loved the first half of Two Towers because it was just about like Aragorn and all of that and all the elves, and it was so exciting. And then I was like really enjoying it, and I thought, you know why? It's because I haven't been spending any time with Frodo. I was like, this is the best book ever. And then the second half of the book, it went back to Frodo and Sam, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, like I was cool with it for the first few chapters. And then pretty much after the taming of Gollum, I was not into it. It's too much Gollum, it's too much Frodo. Samwise I know Samwise means half-wit. He's the only person there with any brains and sense. It is ridiculous. But it did make me laugh when the Oliphants came and like then the Oliphants died. But Samwise the whole time is just like, wow, I can't believe I've really seen an Oliphant. Like, on and on and on. My thing with the Hobbits part of it is they do so much talking and so much nothing, and Frodo is so dull. Whereas like when you're with the elves, like yeah, they do a lot of talking, but it's like, tell me about the battle you've just been in. Like, okay, I'll recap you on the battle I've just been in, and then they just talk about their battles and go to battles, and it's far more interesting. I was so dull. I was so over it until it pretty much got up to the bit where Frodo and Sam bump into Boromir. That became slightly interesting, and then the next chapter after that I was bored again. I just want to finish it. Like, the first half, with the exception of the Treebeard chapter, was a 5-star, so good, but Frodo is just so dull. All he does is get mad at Sam for no reason when Sam's the only reasonable person there, and defend Gollum, and it's so tiring. The second half of the book is like Frodo and Sam boss Gollum around for 10 chapters. That's it. Anyway, that's my Lord of the Rings reading update. That being said though, the audiobook I'm listening to for Two Towers is absolutely baller. It's such a good, unabridged, dramatized narration. It's fabulous. So I do highly recommend. Alright, time for my walkies and my Lord of the Rings. Hello, happy Wednesday and welcome to another reading update. So I actually did quite a bit of reading of Wanna Play a Game yesterday. I'm now about 60% of the way through. I'm actually so tired today because I stayed up late reading this book. It has pros and cons like any sort of indie published dark romance, and let me dive into those. So pros, the spice is very good. I enjoyed the concepts. Cons, we're now at a point in the book where, in these types of books, I expect once I reach 50%, there will be like a change in the way things sort of go. So in like a kidnapper dark romance, I expect once we hit 50%, approximately 50% of the way through the book, we'll start to see attitude changes from the kidnappee. When they get kidnapped, I do not expect them, obviously, to hop on board with it all right away and be like immediate Stockholm syndrome and like, yeah, I like this is great. I don't expect that at all. There needs to be like some struggle, right? Otherwise, what's the point in kidnapping her? She probably would have come willingly. But now we're at a point in this book where it's 60% of the way through and she is still exactly the same. She is still having all the same protests. She's still trying to run away all the time. I'm just not sure when she's gonna turn it around, slash if she will turn it around, but I expect like she has to, right? Also, the reverse harem has been reverse hareming, with the exception of she hasn't slept with Ryder yet and we're 60% of the way through. That being said, he has basically just arrived in the book because he's been in jail. But I did kind of think they would have had a moment by now, but no, Ryder still wants to fucking kill her, like legitimately kill her. So yeah. Faith of the Fallen. I am 468 pages in, so I'd say I'm about almost 60% of the way through this as well. So good. So good. Not too much has changed since the last check-in. It's still only been Kaylin's POV and Kaylin boss babing, but we have had some happy moments and some developments, so that's good, but still have no idea what's going on with Richard other than knowing that he's alive. But at this point I am starting to get increasingly curious about Richard and what's going on with him and what his thoughts are on all of that. Knowing he's alive isn't quite enough for me at this point, so hopefully we'll get a POV switch back to him soon. There's only about 300 pages left and I'm wondering how slash if he's going to get himself out of his current predicament within the next 300 pages. So yeah, that is the check-in in a nutshell, and I'm on my lunch break from course. I'm so tired, I stayed up way too late last night. Thankfully today's gone quite quickly because I've barely been paying attention and just disassociating through my course today. But I do have to go into the office after my course, so course will finish at around 4:30 p.m. and I have to be in the office by 5:30 p.m. because I have to have a call with our UK counterparts, so that's delightful. I think I will reward myself with some fast food for dinner tonight because I'm not sure I can be bothered to cook. Alright, let's read for a bit during this break. Richard! Richard! Just jumping on really quick to say the Order is socialist. Terry's not even subtle in it. Nikki is a socialist and the Imperial Order is a fucking socialist regime. No subtlety, blatant socialism, but I kind of dig it. Let's do it. Hello everyone, happy Thursday. Yesterday was a day. I did not end up getting out of work until 7 p.m, so it was a very long day. I was exhausted by the time I got home. Didn't get much reading done, but I did a little bit of wanna play a game. Not a lot, I'm only 65% of the way through. Nothing's really changed in this since the last time I updated you. Same old. Oh my gosh, it is so good. I'm up to chapter 52, page 564. So I've got about 200 pages left. I really want to finish this today. I really do. I'd like to return the books I borrowed from my friend to her tomorrow. So I really want to finish this evening. Same thing, not too much has changed since I updated you yesterday. Kaylin is still with the army. Richard is still learning what socialism is, but he's also teaching the people who live in Alterung, which is like this city in the socialist part run by the Imperial Order, and he's teaching the people there really what it means to be a capitalist. Not really, but basically, as expected, a consequence of the socialist initiative is that people don't really work. There isn't a desire in people. There's no incentive to change anything or make anything better because there's no reward for it. And Richard is really showing people that not only is he introducing his own competitive market in the job that he is doing, but he is teaching the people around him in the building he lives in and their neighbors what it means to improve your environment, really, and how improving your environment can improve your quality of life. So just things like teaching the young boys how to fix the stairs and build and paint things and do repairs and make their environment a better place to live, because at first they didn't see the value in that. They like, what is the point in working? Richard also really did need to create a competitive market, because the workers' union he was in, because Richard is so able-bodied and he's able to do a lot of work and they could see he was working hard, he was essentially punished by them saying because he is able to work, he needs to provide for all the people who cannot work, and especially give his level of effort. And they more or less punish him for that by docking all his wages, like literally all his wages, and increasing his rent, even though they couldn't pay their rent because he wasn't getting paid. So Richard finds a way to get his own business going so that he can make some sort of profit, and it also benefits the companies, I guess. It benefits the people that he's working with as well, the service that he can provide. This is not really what Nikki wanted. So Nikki has essentially, spoilers maybe, but not really. It's made pretty evident, but Nikki basically grew up with a mother who was part of the religious order that brought socialism to the forefront in the old world. Anyway, it's so hard to describe, but Nikki really keeps pushing the socialist ideals and how mankind is inherently just disgusting and horrible, and that the only way to serve the creator is to give up everything for the sake of others. And Richard is really telling Nikki, like, what is the point in sacrificing for people indiscriminately? It means so much more to sacrifice for people who mean something to you. Which she didn't like that answer. She also, she reaps the benefits of the benefits Richard is bringing to the community, but she's not happy about that all the time. Richard didn't want to do the fighting against the Imperial Order, but I think in his own way he is fighting the ideals of the Imperial Order by showing the people who live under the Order's regime that there's a better way to live. So I think he is inadvertently still fighting for the cause, even though he thinks he is not. Caitlin's running the war fighting side and Richard is running the social initiative side. Not exactly the way you think it would go. They're so, Richard and Caitlin are like trad but not, if that makes sense. Like the female characters are all just so like physically strong and competent, and the male characters are not. But like Richard's really interesting because he's like the ideal guy you would want if you were a trad wife. Richard can build you a house. He's proven it time and time again. Richard can build you a house and he can always find a way to make money. He's like the ideal trad husband, but he's got a wife who's like, I gotta go fight a war. I don't know. I just love it so much. I love the characters so much, except Nikki, that bitch can burn. I am so mad about something she just did. Oh. Don't have too much time until I have to get back into my course and give a presentation. Ugh. So I'm gonna read up until then. Yay! I finally finished the course I was doing, thank God. I also finished on my delightful afternoon walk 2 Towers. So now I am 2 books down in the Lord of the Rings series. Final thoughts on 2 Towers. As I said, first part, delightful, loved it. Second part, narrowly saved by Shelob's Lair and the Choices of Master Samwise chapters. Like without those 2 chapters, part 2 would have been a massive flop. Yeah, So I gave it like a 4.5. The first half of the book was definitely like 5 stars for me, and the second half petered off a little bit, but was kind of saved in the last 2 chapters. And the audiobook I listened to was like definitely the best audiobook I've ever heard, except with exception to the audiobook I listened to for The Hobbit. This one was like definitely a close second for sure. And I am 575 pages into Faith. I really want to finish this, so I'm going to buckle down and read hopefully all of it tonight. So good. 5 out of 5. Oh. Where does one even begin? This book was so good. We still got a lot of conflicts to solve in the series, but Richard has tackled socialism. So we're off to a great start. Does every one of these books end with one of our main characters only narrowly escaping death? Yeah. Do I eat that shit up every time? Yeah. This has been a pretty good reading week, I must say. I have finished Two Towers, which, I mean, look, I've been listening to the audiobook for that for a while, so it's been a bit of a work in progress. But I finished Two Towers, I finished Faith of the Fallen. I reckon I can finish Want to Play a Game. I really do. But the next question is, what actual book am I going to read next before I leave? I don't know. So here's what I'm thinking. I think I'm definitely going to take Swordcatcher off my TBR for this month. It's just, this is a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, the text is quite big, but I am only in Australia for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 7 more days. I'm only in Australia for 7 more days. I could probably finish this book in 7 days, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling it, so I'm not going to conquer Swordcatcher this time. I'll do it when I come home. Oh, I could also read Powerless. But I was thinking I could either launch right into Highest Bidder. This should be easy enough, like it's smart, like it can't be that hard. Or Chasing Love by Kat Mason. But this is actually quite thick now that I pick it up. Like, I'm wondering how long it is. It's 486 pages. This is kind of thick, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a big book. Or The Ruthless Royals duology. 2 books, and it's not very long at all. $402 pages for 2 books. What to do. All right, I think I'm gonna read The Highest Bidder. That's what I'm gonna do. Yep. I'm gonna read The Highest Bidder. And then if I finish that, I'll read Ruthless Royals. Okay, please forgive me for the extremely loud sound of the woodwick candle in the background, but it is what it is. So no reading update. Oh, actually, I do have a reading update. So last night, I actually ended up finishing Want to Play a Game. I gave it like 3.5 stars. Like, I had some issues with it. Like, the same thing I said last time, how she was like resisting for too long of the book, I thought. And then the only other thing I really didn't like was that there was I'm cool with the bad guys being bad guys, right? But there was a torture scene in the book, not towards the female main character, but to her ex-boyfriend, that was just too filthy and too graphic in my opinion, so that really knocked it down. My overall enjoyment of the book was really, really good, but I did think that that torture scene was too far. So if you're considering reading Wanna Play a Game by Alina May, definitely check the trigger warnings, because yeah, and just know that about 75% of the way through the book, 70 or 75% of the way through the book, there is an extremely graphic torture scene that you might want to skip over. Other than that, I've literally only read the prologue of Highest Bidder this morning. I have book club tonight, so that is very exciting. I've just been running around getting ready for that. I've cleaned my apartment. I'm about to step out and probably grab some tequila, and I have ordered pizzas for everyone to have tonight, so that should be good. I'm kind of glad it's at my place. I wasn't going to have anything to drink because the ball was just, that was a lot, but this one's at my house, and it's also sort of like a going away party because this will be the last time I really get to see my friends and hang out with them before I have to leave. But I do have good news about my travel. Is it booked yet? No. But work had changed their policy so that instead of traveling business, because of the circumstances of our travel, they were saying we had to fly economy. So that was like a bummer because everyone else in our position has traveled business before, but we're like, okay, they changed the policy, like it's a bummer, but it is what it is. So we went and did all our quotes and reserved our seats and all that with it being economy. And then today I had like medical and dental appointments and stuff, came back to work after that, and one of my colleagues told me, guess what? I was like, oh my God, what? I thought it was gonna be bad news. She goes, they've now decided you can fly business class. I literally went on my knees. I was like, thank you God. It's gonna make my whole experience so much more enjoyable. I don't know if I mentioned too yesterday. If I did, I'll cut this out, but I did start like stuffing my Kindle for the travel as well, so it's super exciting. I might tomorrow show you the books that I have stuffed my Kindle with so far, and then the additional books I plan on getting on top of that. But anyway, for now, I only have like less than an hour before everyone might start to arrive, so I'm going to go to the liquor store and get tequila and await all my friends' arrivals. So I'll probably check back in with you sometime tomorrow. Hello, happy Saturday. It is like 8 p.m. This is going to not only be the only update for today, but me closing out this vlog. So I'll start with book club last night. It was pretty good. There was not much discussion of books that happened, if I'm honest. I discovered at some point that my friends had not watched A Slap on Titan before, and I was like, okay, we'll just watch like 2 minutes of it just so I can show you that it's funny, so you can go and watch it in your own time. And I put it on and we watched 13 episodes. But it was good. And then I was pretty tired, but I was laying on the couch and I decided to pop onto Amazon Prime, and I saw that season 3 of Clarkson's Farm was out, so I started that last night. Ended up sleeping on the couch. I watched more Clarkson's Farm this morning, and then at midday I went to a friend's and we had a gathering, and I've only just got back now. Need to desperately have a shower because they had a fire pit, so now I smell like I've been camping. Did not get a lot of Highest Bidder done. I am up to page 33, chapter 5, so I'm far enough into the first book, which is called Bought. The first book's called Bought. I'm 33 pages in, and that's just about far enough through that I get the premise. So basically the characters in this first book are Lucien and Dahlia, and Lucien is like a self-made businessman, like recently divorced, and Dahlia is a struggling college student at a fashion internship, and they haven't met yet. He has received like his invite back to the BDSM club for this auction thing, and she has just been told about the club by her friend that attends there and is right now enticed by the idea of the amount of money it could give her because she's really struggling. And also she has just revealed that she has some dark BDSM sort of fantasies arisen by obviously some sort of abuse she suffered as a child at the hands of her uncle. So, you know, as always, check trigger warnings. But yeah, that's as far as I have got. I wish I could have made it through a bit more so that I could have given you a more substantial update on Highest Bidder, but it will certainly be featured in the next update. For now, I'm going to have a shower and I'm going to watch more Clocks and Spa, and I'm going to end off this vlog here. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed. I'm so glad to have you. It means literally the world to me that anyone would watch me, like, at all. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so and giving a like or dropping a comment. Comments make my day more than anything else does, really. I love to hear from you guys, so if you leave a comment, it would mean the world. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!